Paul, vocês estão todos com fone de ouvido aí, que a gente vai fazer essa entrevista na base da tradução simultânea. O que vocês não entenderem, vocês façam de conta que entenderam, porque vai passar aqui também legenda, subtítulos, quando vocês estão em casa, aí vocês veem aquilo e dizem, era isso que eu não ouvi direito, tá? So how's everything? I love this hat, really.
I've been rushing about all day, so I thought I'd put it on.
Can I take a look at it?
Yeah, sure.
Sure?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see how is your head.
Wow.
You got a big head too. Fantastic. You know that our director here, this is a 5960. Our director, Willem, has a head like a watermelon,
Really? Yeah.
which I thought was the biggest head I ever seen in my whole life. But there is a journalist here that works with me also. His head is like that. It's a what?
That's
I
normal.
think it's a 70. It's something like that. He can't put earphones.
For a journalist, that's normal. Yeah.
It's normal.
For a journalist, yeah.
So how many times have you been here already?
9 and a
Brazil?
half.
6.
Like
One say 6, the other 9.
Yeah. 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah, we're
Last time, not the last time, but before that, the time before that, you invited me. I was very, very happy to see your show from the
wings.
From the wings over there, and it's amazing. The crowd. You see you did a show in the Pacaembu,
right.
and amazing how the crowd sings along, and they love you. They love you here in Brazil. I mean, they love you everywhere, but here's for sure.
It's a fantastic atmosphere. They sing not only the words, they sing the riffs and the refrains and everything else. They sing the rhythms. It's great. Amazing.
Fantastic. And it was really a great pleasure to see you here. And you've played Smoke on the Water, a song that has one of the most famous guitar riffs ever. And it happened, it was inspired on a fire in Montreux during a Montreux Festival. How that happened?
We were watching Frank Zappa playing the last show of the season. We were going to move into the place the next day to start recording Machine Head. And during the concert, somebody walked in with a flare gun, and 2 flares went into the back of the building. And it was a wooden building, and it caught fire very quickly.
It was a flare?
A flare gun.
A flare gun started off.
Yeah. It was just, I don't think it was intended as anything other than just a sort of happening, but it caught fire, and it was amazing. Everyone was evacuated. We went down to Lake Geneva, watched the wind blow the smoke and the flames across Lake Geneva, hence the title Smoke on the Water. Smoke of the building on Lake Geneva.
And who had the idea for the title?
Roger Glover.
Yeah?
Yeah, actually it came to me in a dream.
What were you dreaming about?
I dreamt it. I've no idea. No idea.
Mind you, he lives in the dream anyway.
Well, so you woke up with this idea, with the idea for
I woke up and I said the words out loud to no one else in the room, and
You were sleeping alone?
I know, yeah, strange but true.
That's very strange. Okay, it's one of these days. And then you came up with the title.
Well, I don't know. The title just came to me, and I didn't know what it meant until a little while later, and we were writing the lyrics, and we thought, let's write a song about what happened to us.
Well, then I think this was an amazing experience to see all that the fire, and from the lake to see all the smoke.
Well, the lyrics ended up being the story of the making of the record, all the moving away from the casino to the Grand Hotel and all the difficulties that happened in between. And so it's very much a biographical lyric about Machine Head, the album.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Tell me something. Well, do you remember what was the biggest disaster doing a big show, a big rock show in the United States? What was it? Was one of the, I don't know, the Rolling Stones? No, the
Altamont. We had a pretty big one in Chile, in Santiago,
what
a couple
happened?
of years ago. We're playing in a football ground, and they let the crowd in early, and they rushed to the center part where the lighting towers were. And they climbed up one side, not both sides. Both sides would have been okay, but they climbed up, and you could see it as the crowd was rushing in. We're going, oh no. And the whole thing collapsed, crumbled, where there were 100 people up there. It was awful, terrible. Fortunately, nobody was killed, but it was incredibly terrifying experience. You know, you think about all the tons of equipment that's hanging in the sky above the stage every night, and we have the most fantastic crew that we travel with. They are amazing. And
I know that.
so it's you trust them with your life, you know, and you trust the audience and everyone with the lives of the professionals that put these shows together.
Sure.
So, but hopefully these things don't happen too often.
No, thank God. No, I've seen your crowd working here in Pacaembu, and I was seeing the show from the stage, and it's the amazing professionals. Right?
We couldn't work without them.
You can relax, come in, just do your show, because you know everything will be
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah.
And you talk about Frank Zappa. So, what do you think of Frank Zappa? Because for me, it was a moment in the history of music. For me, very important with the first albums, still with the Mothers of Invention. It was something that really amazed me. And how do you think of after the Mothers?
I mean, Flo and Eddie were in the band that night from the Turtles, but you could ask any musician about Frank Zappa, and they'll all have something to say about Frank Zappa. They'll all have something respectful to say about Frank Zappa, and they'll all have something about how Frank Zappa affected their lives in one way or another, small way or a big way. So he was a very significant musical figure.
How did he affect your life, for instance?
Well, I think as far as to be honest, it was Wildman Fisher. It was his ability as a producer to see things in impossible situations and make something of it, and to make a dream come true. And that was just one tiny aspect of his musicianship.
Right.
But I think also the fact that he decided that if you couldn't find a chord ugly enough to play it, you just had to stuff a giraffe with cream and with whipped cream, and he had a kind of an avant-garde approach to music and to life. But he was a wonderful musician.
He's a dreamer. What do you think about Frank Zappa?
The drummer or the dreamer?
No, the dreamer. First the dreamer.
Pretty much what Ian says. Just musically, he opened a lot of doors, and he did it with irreverence. You know, he did it with no respect to what had gone before. He broke new ground. So.
And he had a lot of humor in everything he did. And the drummer.
Well, I think what he did, he looked at the limitations of what music was becoming in different boxes. He said, well, there are no rules anymore.
Right. But what was it? How was the first impact when you heard?
There was a record called, an album called Peaches, a track called Peaches on Regalia, which is
Hot Rats.
Hot Rats, the album. It's just an amazing piece of music with an amazing drummer on it. But the invention of all the musicians he worked with was just, it inspired you to try things that maybe you didn't try before.
Yeah.
Because he said there are no rules. Anything
Yeah,
else.
it started even with the cover of the albums, right? Because I remember the first impact I had was just looking at the cover of the album. I said, I gotta have this.
Yeah.
Let's see the impression of everyone. Tenho aqui ao meu lado o pessoal todo do Deep Purple, Ian Gillan, Roger Glover, Ian Pace, the oldest one. It's called Young. That's nice, because you can hear Young instead of Young. That was silly of me. Ian Pace,
And Don Airey.
Don Airey.
Yeah.
Don.
Yeah.
Don.
Don. It's Don.
It's Don, yeah.
Yeah, it's Don. Yeah. And Steve Morse. I noticed that you're wearing shoes now.
Just for you.
What happened?
Just today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I don't know. You know, there's a kind of etiquette. I don't know what people might say, but...
You look so sexy when you're not wearing shoes.
Well, thank you.
Did you cut your feet somewhere on stage? That's why you...
No.
It's just a thing. Today.
You know, I think... you know, you start off planning a tour and you get all these clothes and you think, what... And within 3 days, you're back to wearing jeans and tracksuit and whatever you feel comfortable in. So, and I wear I don't wear shoes unless I have to. So, you know, you go in a restaurant, you have to wear shoes, you know. And they like you to wear shoes in supermarkets and on planes and on television shows.
And supermarkets?
Supermarkets must wear shoes and shirts, they say, in most of the supermarkets where I live.
Yeah. Shirts and shoes?
Yeah.
Trousers as well?
But
No trousers.
no trousers, just shirts, long shirts.
Long shirt.
Yeah, long shirt.
And depends. Sometimes very long shirts, sometimes short shirts.
Depends on the season
and
and the time of day.
Yeah, and on the anatomy too.
Exactly.
But tell me something. You said that when you start the show, you have a lot of clothes to put on, to choose from.
Got the tour, yeah.
Yeah, and you have somebody that takes care of that particularly, or
Oh, we got one each.
one each.
Yeah.
It's the same girl. But
It's the same girl, but she's, her name's Nikki.
And okay, Mickey. And Mickey works a lot, and then you just wear it for 2-3 days.
Nikki.
Nikki.
Yeah, she makes sure that we're clean and tidy, and that we don't smell too bad, and that everything's tickety-boo.
Everything's all right.
She just makes sure we got clean clothes to go on every night. But, you know, I think it's, you know, which is kind of good, because in the old days we had 6 guys in a van together and, you know, change your clothes for a week, and you got pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Only shows in open air.
Yeah,
Be
exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
But some of you are married, and some of you have your wives here, right? Or am I wrong?
My 3 wives are here, over there. Yeah.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
My new wife doesn't know it yet.
Well, they're all together here. Hi, hello. It's not your first time in Brazil, is it? Yeah?
Yes.
You didn't want to let them come alone over here. You heard bad things about
No.
Brazilian girls.
No.
No?
No.
They're very beautiful. You're very beautiful. Very nice. Thank you very much for being here
Thank you. Thank you.
with us, with the guys. Okay? Thank you. What about the football, the World Cup? You've seen the World Cup in Germany?
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in
We
Germany.
all are.
We were in Italy. We were in Italy for the final.
For the final, when the final was played, we were in Rimini watching it on TV with a bunch of Italian friends of ours.
For the final,
On
Italy.
the cup final,
I got
Italy.
kind of excited
Yeah.
about winning, too.
It was wonderful.
Italy.
We're not a fan.
God.
Italy, France. Yeah.
Italy, France. And what was it?
London, France.
The last game that England was out of the World Cup was against Portugal, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Look at that.
I was in Portugal at the time.
Really?
Yeah, I was in Faro. Driving back, I just dropped my daughter at the airport, and Portugal had beaten England, and they were all flying their flags and everything else, and I was going out there, yeah, great. Fantastic. I was the only Englishman there. I went into the bar, into the pub, and all my Portuguese friends, and you know, it was fantastic. It was great.
You know what I think was great? Because one of the things that a lot of Brazilians complained about our team is that they weren't, when the last game ended, when we lost to France, they weren't so sad or so, okay, there was nobody crying or anything like that. But in the English team, which they think, no, the British are not so emotional.
Big emotion.
Everyone, every player was crying, even the great, the great myth, the great idol, Beckham. How do you say Beckham, right?
Yeah.
He was
Well,
crying.
he
was
saw about
sad.
10 endorsements going down the river. That's why.
Oh, come on, don't be so so bad. I don't think that. Do you think they lose endorsements because of one game they lost? I don't think so.
I think really the problem, football is such a big sport. It's the biggest sport in the world, and
Yeah.
I think everyone associates with their national team. And I think we have, all English fans at that time knew that we had the wrong manager. We had no team spirit. We weren't playing in the style of English football, which is very passionate, it's not as beautiful as Brazilian football. I've sat on the beach and watched the beach football here since I first came here. And the whole world acknowledges that Brazilian football is the perfect game. But we love it too in England, and we have a great passion for it. And it's a very physical game in England, and a lot of running around, and maybe technically we're not so good, but I think there's a great deal to be learned from things that we've had in the past, and all of that is just was blown out the window. And all of the fans, we're all fans, and we were talking about saying this guy is useless. He's not inspiring anyone. There's no team spirit. There's no pattern of play. They don't understand where they're supposed to be or what they're supposed to be doing. And so we knew what the result was going to be. And the fans were right, and the pundits were right, and the FA was wrong, and the team. I think that's why they were shattered, because they knew. I think they could have done better.
Well, but they had, well, because you have great players, and even players as Beckham, he plays English style, but also with Brazilian style. I mean, he gets the two things, he puts the two things together. But football is an association. I mean, everybody has to do the same. But you know that our complaint was exactly the same. You know, that we didn't have a teamwork. It's not always,
Why did nobody give the ball to Ronaldinho?
Yeah, Ronaldinho.
All the time he just stood there and people just kept going past him.
And Kaká, that now is doing a great games now. In Italy. During the World Cup.
You didn't see?
Nothing. No. Root for in England.
Me personally?
Yeah.
Since I was a little boy, Queen's Park Rangers. It's a second division team now. Small club, London club, West London.
No.
Rodney Marsh.
Well, my team is in first division, but it's struggling to remain.
It's so sad.
It's called Fluminense. Well, things happen. And what's your team? Let's see.
Sunderland.
No.
How do you say that?
Sunderland.
Sunderland.
Sunderland nil.
Sunderland. Where is it from?
The north of England. Sunderland.
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 Sunderland. Okay.
Sunderland. You've got it.
Yeah, Sunderland. Okay. And you?
Steve's American. He doesn't understand a word
Florida
of
Oh,
Gators.
you're American. Come on, shut up.
Gators.
It's amazing because...
Because of my wife. Gators is football in America is that you throw the football. You don't use your feet on the football.
Isn't it amazing? It's called football and you play it with your hands. Huh?
Handball.
You're American too.
Yes.
No, I think it's okay. I mean,
it's different.
who am I to... I think I'm going to start to call football here soccer.
No.
No?
She could be a commentator, though, seriously, on TV at the game. She knows every strategy. She said, watch, this is the third down. I'll bet they're going to go for the outside. She'll know exactly what's going to... She can
Get them
predict
making the bets. Get them making the bets.
It's a very intelligent game because when you watch it, you think it's just about violence. And after you know about it, it is. No, it's a very intelligent... you said strategy, which is the most important thing in American football. And your team.
Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham. What's that? Who's the goalkeeper in that team? Robin Hood?
He'd probably do better, yeah.
Used to be managed by a guy called Brian Clough, who is a very famous manager, and he spawned a lot of young players and won the European Cup twice with different clubs, and he's a very influential man in the game. But
the moment though, Division 3, not so good.
Division 3, and you?
The winning team.
You root for the winning team. That's great.
I like a good game, but I don't follow any particular.
Man United or
You know
Chelsea.
that our best player, Bira, because I think that when you root for a team like yourself, since you are a kid, you root for the same team, only one team. Here the same, but Bira is an amazing thing because he has one team in each place, in each country. So when he reads the paper on Monday, he says, well, I lost here was okay, here I lost again. It's terrible. And in England, qual é o time que você torce na Inglaterra?
Arsenal.
He roots for Arsenal.
you lost
Yeah, you just lost. You just lost.
to Bolton.
Do you think isn't it strange talking about American football or even baseball? Why do you call World Series a sport that is only practically played in America? Do you know that?
It's a typo.
Yeah.
Have you seen the teams there from Central America and South America? They're all bring them there.
All the good players.
We have here a junior team, kids, very little kids, and they play a lot, but all sons of Japanese.
Yeah.
And they play a lot of baseball.
Yeah.
But mainly, for me, it's a very difficult game to understand. Without, I think, to understand it well, you have to play it in order to know exactly first base, second base, third base. You should know that because of, I think baseball is a direct son of cricket, isn't it?
No, it's a direct son of a girls' game called Rounders.
It's called what?
It's called Rounders. It's a girls' game that's played in England for hundreds of years.
It's a girls' game.
Yeah, in England it's a girls' game.
Yeah.
He's saying it. I don't believe that.
It's
but
called
anyway.
Rounders.
Rounders.
Yeah, they play with a round bat and they play with a ball and they, you know, they have the green knickers on and everything else. And they have first base, second base, third base, and all the rules are originated.
Same thing.
The same as basketball originated from netball, which is another girls'
You tell
game.
that to Pete Rose.
Which one originated from a girls' game?
Basketball is also from a
Basketball's
girls'
a good-
game. It was called netball originally.
You sure? Trying to put a ball inside, it's a girl? You sure?
Yes, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Careful.
Inspiring.
Yes,
Family
inspiring.
shows.
And which one, are you a fan, which one of yours is a cricket fan? In England, cricket and football are almost the same thing.
It's the strange
National-
thing.
national
It's
sport.
a national sport. Isn't it, because I don't know the rules, but it seems a little dull. It isn't, right?
No, it's not.
Very
Not if you
emotional.
know, some people think it's dull. Yeah, I mean, when you go in, you go out, and when you're out, you go in, and the game can last for 5 or 6 days.
Yeah, you need 5 days to watch it.
And
Yeah.
Can end in a draw.
And why
can
does
end
it,
in a-
why do they make and then very slow? Why is that?
That's better.
It's to fold the other one
No, what's this? No,
with the hand.
no, they run it. They run.
No, when they throw the ball.
Oh yeah, well,
Before they throw,
throw.
they run, and, and it goes.
Oh no, sometimes that's the slow ball. But then the ball's going shh, and it hits the ground. And it goes shh, and instead of going there, it goes like that. And so it's very confusing for the batsman.
And the accessories look like a samurai warrior.
Actually, there's a certain amount of fetishes in cricket.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yes. From the box to the pads, absolutely.
Well, eu estou falando aqui com o pessoal do Deep Purple, que vai se apresentar amanhã e quarta-feira no Tom Brasil, aqui em São Paulo. Sexta-feira no Rio Centro, e isso no Rio de Janeiro, né? Sábado na Praça do Papa. Na Praça do Papa, em Vitória. You're playing in the Pope's Place in Victoria. That's absolution for everybody. Huh?
Does he know?
He's flying.
No, I think he's flying, yeah.
good.
He's flying in to see it. E domingo no Chevrolet Hall, em Belo Horizonte. Guys, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. You're
Fantastic.
so nice.
Thank you so much.
So nice to have you here. Thank you. Good luck with the shows.
Thank you.
Thank you. Daqui a pouco a gente volta. Deep